So this is from Chitterao, December 26, 2019. It's actually been viewed nearly 5,000 times, and the interesting part is that it's only him that's been responding here. Anyways, hey everyone, have been keeping tabs on the development of Fusion Fall Retro and Legacy over the years. I'm impressed with the progression of Fusion Fall Universe entirely. Have been reading the latest dev blogs and watching videos from avid players via YouTube that have been covering the game's evolution. Hopefully I'm inside of that. I figured it'd be in the best interest of the Fusion Fall team to consider adding other dynamics to the games, plus new certain characters, NPCs, content that can be incorporated into Fusion Fall Legacy once it finally releases, plus informing the Fusion Fall fanbase of verified resources to utilize. I figured since people all over the world utilize social media, for example Discord and Twitch, Fusion Fall Universe would make an official channel to cover those social channels to increase their respective fanbase, since Wizard 101 and Toontown and other popular games utilize those platforms. So here are some concept images of the unreleased characters. I'm actually familiar with this. This is an old one, obviously, from the OG. More of this stuff right here, and this stuff right here, and Fusion Fall info, the wiki, the manga, a Google Drive right here. This will take a long time. A list of confirmed characters, character redesigns. This is basically a compilation from my first impression right here. So I can't wait till Legacy releases me to see all the new zones, nanos, and characters. Same deal for Adventure Time. Okay, so here's my ideas of characters from these respective Cartoon Network shows that could be implemented into the game. Okay, so hopefully, since you are aware of the Fusion Fall Legacy photos, you should be aware that Boomer right here will be included in Fusion Fall Legacy. And I should have multiple photos right now showing Boomer. I'm not sure about Rowdy as well as Buck, but I think it would make sense for those two to be included. But for now, that we do know that Boomer does exist inside of the Legacy files. So the problem here is, okay, at least you're aware about this. This cannot happen because they're owned by DC, and DC is very protective of their copyright. These shows right here, again, this cannot be added because it's not part of the Cartoon Network original broadcasting. And these other shows right here, unfortunately, this person, none of these can be added. Okay, I'm not sure about, okay, a lot of these you can't implement. For example, you can't implement Garfield, or any of the Looney Tune characters. Boomerang, that's probably the closest you can get to incorporating non-Cartoon Network characters, because Boomerang is the predecessor to Cartoon Network outside of, Duck Dodgers, because it's owned by Looney Tunes. Kind of odd seeing Johnny Bravo there now. And series list. So this guy is posting a whole bunch of series right here. Yeah, Total Drama Rama can't appear. DC Superheroes cannot appear. Mega Man, Scooby-Doo can appear. We obviously have the Scooby Tail. Yeah, all of these can appear. I really want to have Infinity Train on here. A few other titles were already covered by the Fusion Fall team. Okay. And yeah, I remember reading that. It was a very fun read. The Crazy Encyclomaniac. Shows that should be included in Fusion Fall Legacy and added extra images, plus manga links, added other referral links to access other people's posts as well. You're gonna lock it. Okay, so there's a helicopter right now, if you can hear that. Yeah, so you know, this is actually a common misunderstanding that a lot of people who are not aware about copyright do, is that they suggest properties that were never owned by Cartoon Network or technically owned by Cartoon Network. In order for something to appear on Fusion Fall, Cartoon Network has to own 100% of it. So if you're to go into Wikipedia, Cartoon Network shows, and you're going to click on list of programs broadcasted by Cartoon Network, these shows right here, they can only show the original programming. They can never show acquired nor Canadian co-productions. Total Drama, everyone knows that whole fiasco about the whole potential cease and desist. And again, there's gonna be We Bare Bear spin-off series. That's cool. But all of these shows right here, all of these former programming, much more specifically the former original programming, so all the way from the Moxie Show and all the way down into OKKO Let's Be Heroes. These are all of the properties that Fusion Fall can actually enter inside of the game. Now, you know, there's stuff such as Johnny Test, and this falls into the category of you know, former acquired series, which is kind of problematic at the same time, because the reason why, because you know, there's Sailor Moon is in here, right? The thing that Johnny Test can appear inside of Fusion Fall, Retro, and Legacy because he appeared in the original Fusion Fall. So there's a nice little loophole, a gray area for Johnny Test to actually appear. But for stuff such as Dragon Ball, that can't happen, unfortunately. So hopefully you understand that only original programming can be placed onto inside of the game. Okay, so we're gonna go close that. We're now gonna go read the third page of the community feedback thread. You know, I always find it kind of odd that it's called community feedback number 1. It should just be called community feedback, because like what are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna make a community feedback number 2, and all of these ideas here, they're never going to be seen by everyone else? I think it needs to be renamed. So anyways, this is Amphibia, and this is from January 12, 2020. I definitely want a new way to earn Taros, be it daily missions. Yep, I definitely agree with that. Daily missions kind of reminds me of, like, you know, mobile games. You have like these daily challenges where you can get like more gold or energy. Convert fusion matter to Taros. I suggested that before. Reward for races, and it would be pretty cool if racing could also drop Taros as well. It's just that now you can get Taros only with grinding, and this is very tiring for me. Of course, these methods are also a kind of a grind, but that would be much more exciting for me. Yeah, so it's a good thing that you mentioned that, because when you think about it, the only way you can get Taros would have to be through doing missions, and you know, there's a limited supply of that. That's like 1.5 million Taros, give or take. And once you've done all the missions, all of the world and guide missions inside of the game, you run out of Taros, and technically you could create more characters, or you could go grind or race and then sell those items for more Taros. And I think, you know, a lot of people don't like grinding. which is kind of odd, but it's like a necessary evil because MMORPGs, they generally have grinding, you know. So it would be interesting to go have that. Complex dungeons with several bosses, that is a heavily requested feature. Hairdressers, I would like to slightly improve the appearance of my main character. Yes, that has been suggested many times over. Crockpot, I think that you need to take away luck and just require more money to improve the characteristics, because most of the new items are at low levels and up them to maximum characteristics is unrealistic. I 100% agree with you. I've been advocating for that for a very long time as someone who is addicted to crockpotting. I have spent millions of taros crockpotting my stuff, and it's such a hassle to go from point A, B. It's such a hassle to go from point A, B, C, D, and then finally crockpotting everything to max stats. Thankfully, with the Fusion Echo raid boss, we can crockpot stuff to max stats much more easily now, because these items drop obviously max stats. Now another thing I think a system to remove the RNG factor is, say for example, you have a level 1 item and you want to immediately make it into a level 36 item, so you just pay a flat fee of 35,000 taros, and maybe they can make a vendor that sells these items at specific levels. So for example, a level 36 ultra rare shirt, pants, and shoes, where you can just do a one-shop stop for there, as well as melee, shattergun, rifles, all of that other jazz. Remove the RNG factor, because it is definitely a very huge Taro sink. But then again, do we need Taro sinks? Maybe some people say that getting Taros is actually too easy now, but with the nerfing of Mega Fusion Echo, but you know, there's a whole multi-accounting issue, but this is another topic. Add more buildings where you can go, such as Dexter's Laboratory, Harada Bridges Records, and others. Are you saying that we should like revisit these nano layers? If that's what you're saying, then I definitely do agree with you. I think it'd be really cool if we can hang out inside of Computress's lair, or hang out inside of Fusion Belladonna's lair. But if what you're trying to say is to have more layers that are of the quality of those new nano missions, and yeah, I definitely do agree with you. And I did suggest that they could potentially try reworking all 36 nano layers into a much better one, but I think that's something for Fusion Fall Legacy. I think that many locations of the wild, especially the catacombs, frequently the most hated area, and the Darklands require significant rebuilding. Yeah, that's a common response here, as there's no desire to travel to these zones. I already mentioned the whole scamper from the precipice to Forsaken Valley and vice versa. And Trolls in the Wilds needs improvement to be a replacement for the slider in this zone. You mean the zip lines? I think the zip lines, they're okay, but it can definitely be improved. 7, I would like to see NPCs for Cartoon Network in the form of cubes. I don't know what that means. More character redesigns, yeah, sure. And also, of course, new missions, items, NPCs, okay. Yeah, so that was, yeah, I largely agree with you here. How can I disagree with this? Basically, I think they can definitely implement, I think they could probably try and remove the RNG factor for the crockpotting I don't know. I just have a. I'm having a hard time trying to look for a disagreement. From Zor, you mean like those live action videos of guys in skin tight suits wearing big boxes with each half of the CN logo? Oh, like these? You know what would be really cool? If somewhere in downtown, maybe at City Hall, there would be like a stone statue of the Cartoon Network logo, similar to like the statues at Foster's home.